not careful, there are certain factors that can impede the peace that we are currently enjoying. And it will depend upon those in the helm of affairs. If the citizenry, we are playing our part, we are decorum, our speeches are wholesome, our speeches are seasoned with salt, we do all these things, and those in the helm of affairs do not also play their part, then ladies and gentlemen, we are all doomed. So as we are also advising ourselves that we should be decorum, we should be circumspect, our speeches should be seasoned, our speeches should be wholesome, and the rest. Those in the home of affairs, they also have certain things to play. Because if they don't do that, these things will impede the current peace that we are enjoying. Number one, what are the things? There should be the need to strengthen the rule of law so that election and right of voters and candidates can be protected. In this country, the election that we are going into, if there are the rules of law, no, then that means, because if I go and vote, if there is no law that protects my vote, whatever the person that I voted for, if there are no rules that if you are supposed to vote only one, this person, when you vote one, don't vote two. There should be some laws, principles that will protect the election. If there are no rules like that, then that means there's going to be anarchy. If there are no rules like that, then it's seriously going to be anarchy. So those in the helm of affairs, especially the Electoral Commission, you have to make sure there are principles and laws that abide the election. Then also, professional and independent national bodies which can manage elections so that they are credible and the results are legitimate. The underlying word is legitimate. The Electoral Commission, they are the professional bodies that supervise the election. So they have to make sure the election that we are going to, any ballot that we cast should be credible and legitimate. We don't want to a situation whereby they will hear because of double counting, because of this constituency, they are 43, and after the election, we have gotten 100 votes. No, when it's happening like that, there's no going to be. Nobody will accept that because the election is losing the election is very serious. Very serious. So at the end of the day, this constituency, we have a number of voters who are supposed to vote. They are 100, and after the election, there is a constituency A. There are 100 people who are supposed to vote, and after the election, we have gotten 105. 105. Do you think your opponent is going to accept? Seriously, it will lead to anarchy. So professional and independent national bodies who can manage elections so that they are credible and the results are legitimate. Then the last one. The integrity of election requires political equality. The barriers that prevent voting and wider participation in political life must be removed. That's what I was saying. There should be, when we go into the election, those people supervising, they have to make sure any barrier, any impediments, anything that will obstruct the credibility of the election should be eradicated, should be removed. Anything. If there are laws that the opponent, the other party, does not understand, you make sure you explain it carefully. If you think it is not going to bring any peace, it is going to create anarchy and the rest, you make sure you expunge it. You expunge it from the laws. That is all. So that we all be at the same page. But when there are laws that is trying to create barriers, that is going to obstruct the peaceful election, then it needs to be removed. It needs to be expunged from the rules. It is very, very important. We are preaching peace. Our citizens are very decorum. They comport themselves. They understand everything. So we, in the helm of affairs, must also comport ourselves and make sure the right things are done. The security service, they make sure they are not partial. They make sure they are not on the other side of those contesting. You make sure you are neutral. You are neutral. When somebody if there is no misunderstanding and the rest, you make sure because you don't have to do that because this person is party A, because you are on a side, you are going to back him. But if somebody does something wrong, you make sure the rules are applied equally. There's no partiality. When we do that, then there's going to be peaceful and free and fair election after and within the election. But when there's that partiality and the rest, because this person, I belong to this person, although the security service, they are human beings, they all have the kind of person they are going to vote for. But you shouldn't disclose it. You don't just because of love and don't go and supervise the election. The security persons, don't go, the personnel, don't go and supervise and manage the election with emotions, with your heart, because you are in this party. You are supporting in this party, but you have to know that you are representing the nation. You are a peace ambassador. You are a peace ambassador. Even though you have a party, your party that you are going to vote for, but you have to make sure you are a peace ambassador. That is all. You are a neutral person. You go there and supervise. You don't have to supervise the election with your emotion and your heart. It's very, very important. When we do all these things, then that means the peace we are preaching, excuse me, is not going to be lip service preaching, but it is going to be action. Action. It should be pragmatical. Practical. Very, very important. Then after we have done all these things, we have done all this, what are the significance of this peaceful election that we are talking about it? The citizens, we have comported ourselves, we are very decorum, we make sure there is always unity, there is no any anarchy and the rest. After all this, what are we going to enjoy during this peaceful election? When we do and we have peaceful election, what are we going to enjoy? When we have peaceful election, that means there is going to be good governance. Good governance. When we don't have peaceful election, there's not going to be any good governance. What do we mean by good governance? When there is good governance, we make sure the resources that we have are going to be rightly managed, because there is no instability. Because you know, election violence leads to instability, political instability. So when there is political instability, then that means there is no good governance. The resources that we have, who is going to supervise us? So there is going to be anarchy and the rest. Our ministries, our natural resources and the rest, who is going to take proper care of it? So there's going to be disorder and the rest. But when there is peaceful election, if we have peaceful election, then there is going to be good governance. Our resources, whatever we have in this country, are going to be well managed. That is very, very, so it means peace. The word peace is very essential. It's very, very essential. If it is not essential, like our Lord and Master Jesus Christ will not talk about it. Very, very essential. So I said it earlier on that where there is peace, that is where God lives. Because peace brings unity. Peace brings unity. But where there is acrimony, anarchy and the rest, God does not live there. Because that is the home of Satan. That's the home of Satan. So when we have peaceful election, there's going to be good governance. Then number two, when there is peaceful election, there's going to be less conflict and war. Even at all, then, if not less conflict or war, although we are human beings, definitely there will be some misunderstanding, but it will not be it will not generate into wars and conflict. So when there is peaceful election, there's less conflict and wars. Then there's not going to be starvation. There's no starvation and poverty, because everything, you see, productivity will increase. Because we all go to our normal duty. You go to our work. If you are selling at the market, you wake up in the morning. There is no political instability where there's not going to impose on curfew and the rest. So you wake up in the morning, you go to your market. This person will go to his office and work. The imams will be at their mosque. Pastors will be at their church places and be preaching and the rest. But when there is no peaceful election, it will lead to political instability. There's going to be there's going to be starvation and poverty. You can't work and get money. Already, our country, we are experiencing some level of poverty and the rest. Majority of our people are living in poverty. But if we don't have peaceful election, then it will going to be more. It will going to be more starvation. A kombeba. Ohia so anobede. Ohia. Because you can't even go unto me koye mana unyiska. Until a come ebeba, because there is political instability. So we shouldn't joke with the peace at all. The word peace. Then number 4. communities are able to, when there is peaceful election, there is peace in the country, communities are able to maintain their religious and cultural activities very successfully. So if there is no peace, political instability, how can Imam wake up in the morning and go to the mosque and go and shout, Allah Akbar, that people should come and pray? How can pastors go to you? Then you are going to preach to empty chairs because nobody can. Obia so obeba sorry. Into one corner, no one can to because even you yourself, the pastor, you can't even go. You can't even go because there is serious political instability. Go to Rwanda and find out. Go to Burkina Faso when recently there was coup. Go there and find out what was happening there. So we shouldn't joke with the peace at all. Don't let your parochial interests lead you to this. Don't let your parochial interest, very important, the word is parochial interest, your selfish interest lead you to this anarchy. So that we joke with this, the peace that we are currently enjoying. Then alas, when there is peaceful election, there is less tyranny. What do you mean by the word tyranny? There is not going to be any oppressive rule. Because so there is not going to be any oppressive rule. In Sheswo Abain, in Sheswo, when you talk about tyranny, that is in Sheswo cruelty. People are not going to be refugee because if there is fight, people will struggle and leave to other countries to do and just go and have their peaceful lessons. So when there is peaceful election, there is less tyranny. We are not going to have refugees, we are not going to any oppressors rule, and the rest will all live together. So ladies and gentlemen, as I bring my message into conclusion, I'll encourage all of us. We must remember that there is no victors in chaos. Yes, there is no victors in chaos. When there is chaos, who is going to say, Mina made kunim? Because I didn't assume to be anyhow. So there is no victors in chaos, only victims. Our lives, very important, our lives are more precious than the pain of losing election. Our lives. That is why I said earlier on that we shouldn't be, especially those in the helm of affairs, the military, the security service and the rest. You shouldn't manage the election, supervise the election with your heart, based on where you stand. No matter how, our lives are more precious than losing election. No matter how painful it is, there is no justification for killing ourselves. When you lose election, it's very painful, but there is no justification of killing ourselves. There's no justification. Losing is election is very painful, but there is no justification of killing ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are very grateful for the insightful delivery. We ask God to bless you, and we believe that whatever you share with us will touch our very heart, and we shall be the doer of the word. We would like to acknowledge, some of the dignitaries in attendance. I have with me here Lord Hammer, representing Honorable Ojo Asuni. We have Sheikh Ahmed, Chief Advisor for the Institute of Quran and Sunnah for Social Development. If we will want, let's acknowledge you. I have with me here Serki Abdullah Isaka. You are the first Chief of Gomwan Nana Zambo and his mentor. You are duly recognized. I have with me here Sheikh Swala, the Imam of Amafro. If you are here, let's acknowledge the word. We would also like to acknowledge our supporters for this August program. We would like to acknowledge Al-Hajj Habib Ambassador. If you are here, let's acknowledge you. We have with me Alhaji Zubero Abdelkumar. Thank you so much for the support. We have Honorable Anita Owo Enisa. Thank you so much for your support. We have Sheikh Imam Mohammed Tasiu Bawa, CP Chief Imam. We thank you for the support. Sheikh Abdul Son, we are grateful for your support. And Donasi Market Mosque, we are indeed grateful for whatever form of support you lend to us. In our next item on the agenda, we shall call upon the Deputy Regional East Commander to share with us the security architecture during, before, during, and after the election, so that whatever the electoral outcome will be, the security will be on ground to check any form of violence and any other thing, disturbances that may arise after the election. There will not be any peace or peaceful election without the security architecture being out or being on the ground. So without much ado, I shall call upon ACP Mr. Ibrahim Sule to share with us the security arrangement on ground to ensure peaceful election. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Mr. Chairman, I rely on other protocol presence here. I was happy to hear my brother when he said, "Blessed are those the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." And I say, Alhamdulillah, as long as I'm a police officer, I'm a son of God. Because we are the peacemakers. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It gives me great pleasure this morning to be present at this very important conference. I consider this an important because the invitation has come at a time when the police administration had implemented various measures, including community engagements, that is visiting the communities, the lorry stations, churches, to talk to the people and to whip up interest on peaceful coexistence and violence-free election. Police administration has also engaged in collaborative efforts with sister security services and other relevant agencies to address any potential challenges that may arise. Our patrols have been intensified, police visibilities are also have been intensified. Our joint election security task forces are activated and operational, and we are ready for the election coming 7th December. All strategies instituted by the Inspector General of Police, Dr. Dampare, are to guarantee the safety and security of the citizen before, during, and after the election. And I can show you that the police service in general and Central East region in particular are ready for the election. And we can assure you that your security and safety are guaranteed. You can count on the Ghana Police Service. Notwithstanding that, I want to bring to the notice of my people present here that violent acts are seen between the two main political parties, that is NDC and MPP in Kaswahili. Some youth sometimes fall prey to some politicians who manipulate them to cause troubles for their political gains. And I have to call the attention of the Alams, the chiefs, the Imams, that it is about time that we have to bring the youth closer to us. Our youth, to be honest with you, we are closer to the bad ones. Some of them can be very, very violent. Some of our youth can be very, very violent. And I also observe that we, the parents, we have failed our children. The parents, we, the fathers especially, we have failed most of our children. Gone are the days when our parents used to call us, sit us down, talk or advise to us, but now we don't do it. I've encountered with some of the criminals in our custody, and during the course of conversations with them, and sometimes when I talk to their conscience, they say, Master, Nyame Israel, since you woo me, Obi and Fremi, etu mi fuda, nti Nyame Israel. Since that boy was brought to this world, nobody ever called him to advise him, do this or do that. When we are happy sleeping in our rooms, our children are on the street, join their bad friends, indulge in drugs and other vices. At the end of it all, the politicians, some politicians take advantage of these innocent boys, motivate them with money, and engage them to do evil things. So this is the time that I want to plead. People who are in the leadership position must always accept that they are there not on their own merit or power. God chooses people to lead